What is good, YouTube? Quim Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Darius Garland because he's an interesting guy. He was a guy that was drafted on potential and the fact that he's a small, creative guard that could possibly be a good shooter off on and off the ball. This is a guy that struggled a little bit as a rookie, but started to figure it out as the season went on, shooting 40% from the field, 35 from three, 87 from the free throw line, getting 3.9 assists, 12 points this year. He has slight increases, 46 from the field, 43 from three, 90% from the free throw line, 2 rebounds and 5 assists and 16 points. And I think that is very impressive considering that he didn't play much in college. And when he did, he didn't really look crazy or dominant. And then you see him come from not being great in college to going right to the NBA and tearing his knee up, and then struggling to really score or find his place in majority of the season, and then not playing that much because remember they wasn't in the bubble, so they didn't even play for the rest of those months, and then coming into this team this year with a clean slate and a clean opportunity and taking full advantage of it. He's one of the biggest reasons why the Cleveland Cavaliers are even a legitimate chance of making the playoffs. And I think that was something interesting because when you struggle like Garland was struggling, shooting in the below 40% for the majority of the season last year, you do wonder what can he really do to get better? And the question just like Colin Sexton, if you're not going to be a great finisher and you're not going to be the greatest, physical specimen, even when it comes to being an athlete, you have to shoot. And that's something that I tell a lot of guys. That's how D'Angelo Russell. He's not the greatest athlete, not the greatest player, but one of the reasons why he's a 20 plus point scorer every season is because he's very creative and very crafty, but he also can get a lot of shots off and knock them down, and that compensates for his lack of athleticism if he can knock down tough shots, and he does have the green light to take them. And the best part about Garland is he's very efficient. He looks better. He looks, more clean. He looks more understanding. I think the hardest part when I was watching Garland, it just his feel for the game wasn't there, and it was because he missed so much time before he was a rookie and coming into his rookie year, adjusting to the speed of the game, adjusting to the athleticism of the game, and still trying to figure out his game as he had major injury that he had to get used to, using that knee again and getting used to the new teammates as they always knew because he's on a whole completely different team than what he was on college. And I thought those were some tough challenges for him to face. And I was happy for him when he started figuring it out and figuring out his game and how he was going to attack and play as an offensive player in this league. And he really does look like a starting caliber point guard. And I didn't expect that in year two because he was just that bad as a rookie, especially in the beginning. So I'm impressed with him. And I do feel like he still can go on another level. And it really doesn't have nothing to do with being even more efficient. It's just about adding more moves and adding more weapons. And that's basically what Colin Sexton did. Colin Sexton was a rookie that averaged 16 a game, but he raised his shots, being able to shoot off the dribble, being able to shoot off, screens, being able to shoot spot up threes, and, making the best of the open opportunities by knocking them down at a high clip that allowed him to become a 20-point scorer, even though he's not the greatest athlete and he's not the greatest finisher and he's also not the greatest playmaker, but that's something that Garland has done. He has become a guy that can read defense and make decisions, and I still think that that's something that makes him a point guard compared to Sexton. Is Garland is a great passer and he has great understanding for his age, and as he gets older, as he starts to read defense, as things starts to slow down for him, he should be able to find holes and he should be able to know when to attack and when to pass, and that's something that should be happening at year 24, year 25, year 26. As his body is now developed, he's more confident in his game, and the game is something that he has seen for so many years that he's accustomed to it. And then to just about, feasting on those opportunities. And I'm really interested in seeing what Garland can bring to the table. I really want to see how high his ceiling is. Is he just a 16, 18 point scorer with 7 assists at his peak, or can he get into that 20-point range in the future? And if you're the Cavaliers, you're not really complaining because a lot of people had a lot of questions for Garland, and he warranted them. And even in his rookie season, he warranted them because that's what we seen, and that's what we had to go based off because that was the only season that we really seen them fully going. And it is interesting to see his development and where he will become because I looked at Garland as one of the most high risk players in the draft, and he pretty much turned into a solid starter already in his second year. So his progress has been amazing. You can tell he loves the game as he has put so much work in to have this type of season. I did think he was going to continue to struggle from the field and still be decent from three, but he has been able to figure out both of those things already in his sophomore year. But the question is just, is Garland going to be an all-star? Can he be an all-star caliber player? Because he already shown that he is a starting caliber player, and he already showed that he's a decent playmaker to decision maker. And I think that that's going to be his strong suit. If he's not going to be a great scorer or a dominant scorer, at least he can be a great playmaker, a guy that can get you the points and also set up everybody on the team while also, being able to use his own pace and his own tempo to create advantages for himself and his teammates. So I'm very interested and intrigued by Darius Garland, and I really want to see where his career goes because he's an interesting guy, already, and I'm liking his spunkiness, and I'm liking the fact that he is a little innovative, and that's something that I seen, and that's something that I knew he had. I was just seeing how he was going to put it together at the NBA level. So he had a lot of questions, he had a lot of doubters, he had a lot of guys that just had to wait and see, and now we're starting to see why he was so high in the draft even though he didn't play that much. And now we're starting to see why so many players thought that he was a guy that you couldn't pass on in that particular draft. And now it's just about how far can he take his talents and his abilities in the NBA and take it to the next level. So, he's a guy that you definitely have to watch out for. They call it Sexland for a reason, and it's because him in Sexton is playing amazing as guard. This is supposed to be their backcourt. This is supposed to be their future, and if they can get into the playoffs, that'd be a huge confidence boost and a huge thing that a lot of us didn't see coming, especially because they're not a great defensive backcourt and they're not the biggest or most athletic or even height wise the tallest guard. So to me it was a big disadvantage to them, but they're fast and they're very crafty, and the sky is the limit for them, but they have some things they have to figure out with this roster, and they have to figure out some other stuff that's minor, and they do have to figure out what they're going to do with their wings. Is it going to be a Okoro? Is it going to be Jetty? Is it going to be somebody else? Or, what they're going to do with Drummond? Is Jarrett Allen the future? Is Drummond, he has been dominant as a center. They have some small little, things they got to figure out. And, I still do think that Garland is a guy that has more upside than he has shown so far. And that's a good thing because you do want guys to continue to develop and continue to get better. And I feel like Garland, he will be able to do it because I don't think that we have seen the best of him just yet. And that's a good thing considering what we thought about him getting drafted and where he is now as a sophomore in his NBA career. So I'm interested, and I want to see what happens with them. And I do want to see if the Cavaliers can, lock into that playoff spot, whether it's 6th, 7th, or 8th. It don't matter because none of us really thought that the Cavaliers legitimately could make the playoffs, and here they are right now having a legitimate record of being able to possibly do it already with year 2 of Sexton and Garland as a backcourt, and that's ahead of schedule. I think even the Cleveland fans will say that, but it's reality now. Check out my website. That'll be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page. That will be in the description in the comment section below. Like on Facebook, like this video, share. Check out my older videos. Have over 2,000. So if you like this video, you want to see more, check out those. I also upload every single day. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough of it, this is the channel for you. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Knowledge signing out, and I'll be back to y'all with another video tomorrow. And the weekend is here. Quinn Wade, I'm gone.